she telling me to come for me. No hesitation when I come forward. I won't let you go. When she telling me to come forward, come for me. That's what she telling me to come forward. No hesitation when I come forward. I won't let her go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Where is she? She telling me to come forward, come for me. See, I don't know why finally now I just spoke my mind. I know it's long since we spoke sometime, but this thing no play, I go change your mind. Just give me some time, baby, please, cause I don't have no time to waste. No more back and forth just like Aaliyah. That's all I wanna do right now. Grab it up, swing on me, gonna grab it up. Body to body, make a bend up on that reeling. Bad man, turn you over like a steering. Well, when me gonna grab it up, swing on me, gonna grab it up. Body to body, make a bend up on that reeling. Bad man, turn you over like a steering. Well, she telling me to come forward, come for me. That's what she telling me to come for me. No hesitation when I come forward. I won't let you go. When she telling me to come forward, come for me. That's what she telling me to come forward. No hesitation when I come forward. I won't let her go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Where is she? Where is she? She telling me to come forward, come for me.
Just killed it.
You made the decision to play Thiago. Klopp doesn't change the system since Luvac left. You don't want to change from the 4-3. What's going on, people? We're back again on the Jerry James Show for another preview. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're having a great Monday. For a lot of us, not for a lot of us, but for a lot of parents, teachers. The week's back, man. Summer holidays are over. The Premier League season's obviously underway now. We're in the international break, and I hope you're having a great obviously Monday. When I get in front of the screen, I always ask you for the same things. Please make sure we are smashing a like. If you're new to the channel, go subscribe. But listen, if you don't want to subscribe now, just subscribe at the end of the show. And you might be sitting there wondering, you know what? This brother here in his bedroom, right? In his bedroom with a Mrs. Pillow and everything all about. He might be talking a better sense. I'm going to obviously subscribe. So subscribe there. And obviously, if you've already subscribed, then you've liked. Remember to hit the notification bell, because that way you'll obviously be up to date with all the new content coming as well. As promised, the content is dropping for the members very shortly. So I'm happy to go and see what you guys think of that. A lot of news coming that way. So if you're interested, if you've been a part of the journey for a while, please just make sure you hit the membership. The link should be somewhere on screen. If it's not, let me know and I'm going to get that out to you guys. But look, it's the preview, and look, let's just get started, man. Liverpool obviously started fantastically against Aston Villa. So we have to preview it. We've got to look at what happened tactically. Before I do any of that, I need to get into you guys in the stream, man. So we got Alexander Day Lost in the building from the off saying, "What's up, JJ? Liverpool exciting, unlike last season." We're definitely going to get into it, bro. Big up to Trudon as well, saying this international break can do one. We are cooking. Yeah, man, I'm not a big fan of the international break. If I'm not going to be honest, unless it's like major international tournaments, Euros, World Cup specifically, I couldn't be bothered, man. I really couldn't be bothered. Anfield Road then with a breaking news saying the Saudis will push their offer towards 200 million over the next 48 hours in the belief Salah would be open to joining Al Ittihad. This rumor is not going to go away, and look, we're going to talk about it on the show. Of course we are. Alongside obviously his very good performance alongside his teammates against Aston Villa. But yeah, we're in a sticky situation. I mean, we've got Tony Hoare in the building saying Salah only goes if he wants to leave. Will he do that? We're going to chop that up. Big up to yourself, Tony Hoare. We've got LFC Aaron in the building. We've got Tapooligans as well. Anfield Road End. We got Honesty as well saying big up JJ. Even though my guy Darwin didn't score, he was involved in 3 goals. I'm already seeing a better Darwin. Look, we're going to definitely chop that up. We've got Psychedelic as well saying big up JJ. We finished Villa and Emery with his greasy hair, and that hasn't been for free. For 3 months, 15 games unbeaten. Man, boom, saying bad evening for Emery as well. There's 42 of us in the building, so make sure I expect 43 likes because I like the video as well. How about that? So I'm already helping you guys out. Please make sure we're liking. The more of you guys like, the more people hop into the stream. That's how it is, man. That's how it is. The more people are notified that the stream's actually ongoing. But then we're going to get into it, man. 100% we're going to get into it. Liverpool. Let's get into it. Spare me 2 seconds. Hold on. What's going on here, man? What's going on here? For some reason, it's not popping up. There we go. Cool. So as we know, people, Liverpool went off and had a fantastic, dominant display over obviously the villains at Anfield. 2 p.m. weird kickoff. I don't know why the game wasn't televised, but if you were in the know, you would have been here during the first watch along on the Jerry James Show with G and myself. And yeah, dominant performance, man. Dominant performance. Got a very early goal from great pressure from Darwin Nunez and Salah on the right-hand side, leading to a corner. A corner delivered by Trent that come out to Szoboszlai, and he's wrapped it with his left foot. Not even wrapped it. The technique on that left foot, daisy cutter off the ground, great volley, fantastic goal, and a celebration to match as well. Really good performance from Szoboszlai all round, but that goal really set the tone. After that, it was business as usual. Really dominant display on the ball. Passes really, really good. There were times where, Aston Villa were able to get in behind. A slip here from Joe Gomez. And, there were certain periods, Aston Villa did have some chances and they could have done better with them. However, it was a world-class performance from Liverpool, in my opinion. Probably the best performance we've had this season. Best half, 100%. Although, in the second half, we did tailor off a bit. And that's to be expected. We were, 2 to 3 goals up. Made some subs, and we were just seeing at the game at that point. But it was a fantastic performance. Trent picking out loads of quality passes, and a different midfield three to what we've seen. Jones getting his first start of the season at Anfield, alongside McAllister and Szoboszlai. McAllister being the one that is playing kind of the deepest out of all of them. But an interesting role for Jones as well. And we saw a revitalised kind of performance from Robertson, alongside goals from obviously Salah, and an own goal from Darwin Nunez, and Darwin Nunez a threat all game, as Honesty mentioned as well. So we're going to definitely just get into the stats now and just get straight into it. Bear with me. As soon as I put it out. 2 seconds. Let me just get the stats out for you guys. I might have to do it like this. 2 seconds, people. Need to just get the stats up for you guys. I'm moving a bit mad, to be honest, but not to worry. Getting the stats up now, guys. Make sure we are smashing a like, please, on the video. Massive appreciation to those that do, if you're enjoying the content. As I'm getting the stats up, did anyone watch United versus Arsenal? Just let me know in the comments. We'll get into that later on, because we're gonna definitely have to get into that. 100%. But yeah, the stats are here, people. Got them up. There we go. Let me remove that banner for you guys so everyone can see. Yes, as we can see, people, these are the stats from the game. Obviously, Liverpool stats being on the left-hand side and Villa, being the away team, being on the right-hand side. So as we can see, in terms of shots on target and big chances, we dominated Villa a lot. And I think I really want to highlight the fact that the big chance stat is at 0. As we can see, teams are going to have shots and chances. But as of in recent games, what we've seen is that Liverpool have had 17 shots to maybe 9, similar stats. But we would have like 5 big chances each, or 1 big chance each. Liverpool were able to have 5 big chances to Villa's 0, like 0. So that's really impressive. Obviously, shots on target, we could probably improve with our, obviously, accuracy in certain aspects. But as we know, Nunez hit the post twice through, obviously, a lovely delicate chip that was obviously presented, which obviously followed a Nunez strike that obviously hit the post, came out and hit Natty Cash, resulting in an own goal, which is a bit unfortunate for Darwin Nunez. We're definitely going to talk about him in a bit more depth. But as we can see, passes completed, almost double to what was obviously Aston Villa were able to obviously provide. We had 59 passes in the attacking third, and they had 43. So we were still kind of building up quite deep. But it meant that defensively, I think we were much more solid. As you can see, Aston Villa were more take-ons, but that's the way they were really going to go at us. As we knew, they were really going to target us through, driving forward, trying to hit us on a counter. And I think that's the best way Aston Villa were actually going to go and create a chance. 13 crosses to their 10. They had obviously 25 tackles. We had 25 tackles to their 18. So much better in terms of, pressing and winning the ball. We obviously conceded 12 fouls. So good breaking up the play. And obviously in terms of interception, very similar. But as you can see, the stats really suggesting a dominant display from Liverpool, man. 100%. And I think to get into it straight away, without getting to it before I get into kind of the comments, Liverpool did start up as a 4-3-3, people. So when we went and started the game, this is how we kind of assumed we would line up. And I know some people did have the question, was Jones going to play deeper? Was it going to be McAllister? It seems as though McAllister is favoured to play a bit deeper. And probably because of kind of the role that Curtis Jones was doing alongside Szoboszlai. And although they were very differing roles, they were much more advanced from McAllister. And I think they wanted to use the legs of those two kind of flanking midfielders. But as we can see, a 4-3-3. But really interestingly, though, once we were actually in possession, we realised very, very quickly that Trent was going to be moving into midfield. And as we can see here, the number 66 on your left-hand side, coming inside really to go and overload that midfield. But not only that, offer a more stable kind of midfield. And it wasn't necessarily kind of box midfield that we were talking about. It was more about giving Trent the license to create and get on the ball a bit more. At times, we did see Matip kind of roam out to right back at times as well during the game, which we talked about in the watch along with G. As you can see, it really interestingly, however, number 26 in that picture, which obviously we know is Robertson's number, much deeper than we've seen him in recent years and in recent games as well, playing this kind of three at the back. It seemed as though he played much, much more reserved, more of a defensive kind of player. However, I think that suited our formation much, much more and allowed and gave us the basis and Trent the basis to get forward a bit more. We saw obviously a deeper McAllister and a differing role to Coach Jones from what he did on the back end of last season. However, he was still very, very good in my opinion. As we're seeing here, Salah and Nunez being the outlets, with Diaz being more of the kind of the facilitator in this game. It seems looking at obviously the formations, and really interesting to go and see that, because a lot's been spoken about Trent when we're talking about Trent. So Trent, defensively, questions about him, Newcastle lapses in concentration as an example, Chelsea game making a mistake here and there, is he going to get cooked? And I think for a first game to come back, the captain's armband on that left arm, to play the way he did and for us to start the way we did was really promising to see. I think we saw the best of Trent, and the fact that he wasn't necessarily stand out, didn't do anything crazy in terms of like a crazy goal or ridiculous assist in that regard. He had a steady game, and I think that's what we want from Trent. We want Trent to have these games, and I think it's actually a respect when we're looking at Trent and saying, oh yeah, he had a decent game. It means that we know there's another level he can get to, but this is standard Trent, and it's still world class, still better than anything else that anyone else has. For his ability to come inside to really dictate play, whether it's from out wide, whether it's from inside, whether it's from, more advanced or deeper, he was always a threat, and actually allowed Szoboszlai to really get forward and impact the game in different areas. I think they combined really well, and I think it was really interesting to go and see that right-hand side, man. Before I move on, I want to get into your comments, because I think a lot of you guys obviously talking about it as well. So shout out to yourselves. 2 seconds, let me go and see what you guys are saying. Let's go. Boom saying Dom decided yesterday that Mo is staying in. Yes, he did. Hit the likes, guys. Hit the likes. Big up. We got Psychedelic saying Dom 20 goals and assists this season, 10 goals, 10 assists. That would be incredible if you could get that from a midfielder. Let me go and have a look here. Big up to King Adrian saying, big up, bro. Great performance, but we need to take each game as they come. 100% King Adrian, man. 100%. Big up to Rad Kingston in the building as well. We've got Ramstan saying, I think Darwin's average position showed he was wanting to link up with Salah a little bit. 100%. I also think what he did as well was when Salah would attract Pau Torres to him, and Nunez would try to target that space in behind him, knowing that Pau Torres is probably the least athletic of the back line that they had, knowing that Luka Dean likes to get forward. And I think that's what enabled, Nunez to go and have that run, knowing that, look, that ball over the top from Trent into that channel, into Salah, is going to go and happen. And I think that's how the Nunez chance came about. When the ball went over the top, Salah got onto it, kind of knocked it into Nunez's path. And unluckily, Nunez obviously hit it. Great strike, just come off the post and hit Matty Cash's back. So really interesting. Need to go and see what you guys are saying as well. Big up to Tony Hall saying, in possession, Trent and Matip swap. Trent being the centre-back position, open up both sides of the pitch for a killer ball, plus didn't leave a big hole in the right when Trent went to midfield. 100%. And that's what we're talking about, is if we go back to, looking at that image, let me get that up for you here. We can see how narrow and how in line Matip and obviously Trent were. And obviously these are average positions, so they would move about a bit. But we saw a differing role from Trent. 100%, Tony. 100%. I also think that the fact that Robertson stayed a bit deeper meant that the width was actually provided by Curtis Jones. And although Curtis Jones seems to be in that kind of advanced role, a lot of the time I saw him at the touchline, almost playing like a wing back and being an outlet for Trent. I mean, for Trent, that wants to spray across ball, and now for Robbo when he gets on the ball, and also support for Diaz. So if Diaz needs to come back inside, he can go support him, and we can come out the other way with Curtis Jones playing the ball either into Szoboszlai, the number 8, or Macaster, the number 10, who was obviously playing deeper. So 100%, Tony Hall. I agree with that, man. I agree with that. Big up to here. We got Jude Jellingham saying Endo is showing more than Caicedo at the moment, JJ. 100%, man. 100%. 100%. 2 seconds. Ram thinks Nunez was in average position. No, I don't think that's what he meant. I don't think that is what he meant. Rad Kingston saying steady Trent is world class. You see that switch kick pass, karate them. 100%. That's what I'm talking about, man. The diagonals to Diaz from Trent were ridiculous. That's my point. That's my point, and that's what we need. We got Honesty saying, JJ, do you think this season Klopp will play different tactics depending on the different opponent? And if so, do you think Klopp has learned from his mistakes last season? Whether he's learned from his mistakes or not, I think that's to be confirmed and to be continued. We need to wait. And as I believe Adrian said, King Adrian, take it one game at a time, man. One game at a time. We had a good performance. If we can build from it, then yeah, 100%. I think Liverpool are still a team, and I think Klopp is still a manager that likes to play one way and get that fine-tuned and then get a tune out of these players. So we're just bang, 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 bang. We're just going through. So, yeah, 100%, man. 100% big up to Red Bird D9 as well. But yeah, next, I really wanted to go, and obviously we're speaking of that. Before we kind of get into individual players, I want to look at some of the stats. So, which stat are we going to start with first? Let's look at shots. So in terms of shots, people, as we can see here, Liverpool topping the shots, the shots in the game, with Salah making 4 shots, 3 on target with 1 goal. Dominik Szoboszlai 2 shots, 1 on target, 1 goal. Darwin Nunez 5 shots, none on target, no goals, which is really unfortunate for Darwin Nunez. I think Darwin Nunez is someone that causes a lot of chaos, and I really want to go and ask you guys, man. With Darwin Nunez, he's a player that, he's going to be a Marmite type of player, man. He just is, because yes, he's chaos. Yes, he can be lethal. We can all see that he's got the raw attributes to be a killer. But when he's not killing, we won and it's great and he causes issues. But in games where, Salah might not be scoring, we might not be as prolific, and we might only get 1 or 2 chances, especially against the big teams, can we trust the Nunez to go and tuck them away? Because I don't know what it is about him, but I said it on stream, Jackson, they're just cut from that same cloth where they're actually good players. They're actually good, very, very difficult players to play against, 100%. But they can't finish their dinner. And I know Nunez proved it against Newcastle that he can. Great strike, hitting the post, very unlucky, some would say. The chip as well, quality chip, that goes in as well. We're talking about 2 quality finishes. But he needs to finish them, in my opinion, man. He needs to finish them, because we're going to rely on him. And, we're talking about, Salah potentially leaving and stuff. If that's the case, we're going to need him to finish. We're going to need him to finish. And, of course, other players will step up. But I feel as though Nunez, we're going to rely on Nunez more and more as the seasons go on, and he's going to have to get that under his belt. Now, look, he was a very, very good asset. He had a very, very good game, and look, you don't need to score every game to have a good game. But as a number 9, when you're having the amount of chances he did, if we go back to it, people, there we go, 5 chances. That's more shots. So it's not even 5 chances. That's 5 shots. That's more shots than any other player on the pitch. More than Salah, more than Szoboszlai, more than McGinn, Pau Torres, Watkins, Musa Diaby. 5 shots. And he seems as though, let's not get it twisted. We just got to keep it a buck. Last season, this season, he is a player that's going to just create and get chances. He creates his own chances with his running, with his movement, his pace, his strength. He just needs that finishing touch and that hold-up play as well. I think if he gets that, we'll have a very, very, very good player, man. Very, very, very good player. But still, good game from him. I think that's really important to go and see. Need to see what you guys are saying about Darwin. You've got Jay Kismet saying Darwin won the corner for the first goal, hit the post for the own goal, and got the header and set up Salah for the third. Job done, 100%. And look, as long as we're winning, we're not going to care. And it reminds me of like that Bobby Firmino situation. You know, when Bobby Firmino he would miss a lot of chances as well. We'd fluff his lines. He wouldn't connect with the ball as well. But as long as we're winning, it's fine. At like playing, 100%, I agree. The problem is that when Salah's not clicking, when Diaz isn't getting goals, when Szoboszlai just can't hit a barn door from distance, and the chances still drop to Nunez, because I think he still creates the most chances in our team, or gets the most chances. What happens then if you don't finish? That's my worry. That's my worry. Big up to Phil Bander. Phil Bander saying, Jerry, is it true that at some point in the game, Trent was playing as a centre-back? Was it a tactical switch? Instead of inverting from right-back, he was inverting from centre-back, I think. Yeah, so what he was doing is Matip was going into right-back and Trent was coming really, really deep. We did still play a high line, but he was coming really, really deep. And he'd be alongside, obviously to his left would be Joe Gomez, and Robbo would be actually higher up. So that way he was able to go and spread passes. Very kind of similar position, but still, yeah, 100%. I agree, man. I agree. It's crazy. He was inverting from centre back, and it was good to go and see, man. It was definitely good to go and see. Will Dead saying Nunez didn't score, could have had a hat trick, goal deflection, hit the post and bar. 100%. Will Dead saying Jerry still Nunez haters out there. Tell them how he can improve the team. He can do, but he also needs to finish. Will Dead. I think that's what it is, man. We've got Redbird D9 saying Darwin was unlucky, man. Hit the post and crossbar and had a good game. But people diss him. Others do say no dissing. They're just unlucky. He's more than just a goal scorer. Yeah, but we're going to need him to score as a number 9, man, because he hasn't got the link-up play of like a Bobby or like a Mane. He hasn't got an all-round game like that. So he needs to be able to go and like score goals. And I mean, he's not going to go and assist every single game. And if he does that, boy, no one's going to complain. He might become that 100%. But at this moment in time, I need him to go and obviously score. Big up to Ottoman Turk saying, smash the like button, lads. Yeah, please smash the like button. Big up to yourselves. Jake is saying, look, when Darwin plays, there's a buzz there and Salah always looks to link up with him. That's what a striker needs to do. But Diaz needs to improve his assist game, get crosses in, etc. Yeah, I think he does. I definitely agree, man. Looking at the next stat and looking at passes, actually, let's go and have a look at chances created. And this is really, really interesting, man. So as we're seeing here, Trent topping the chances created list, 100%. 5 chances created from Trent Alexander-Arnold. As we've seen here, Luka Dean, always he's a very, very good left back, you know, because even being under pressure from, you know, Trent being down his side, looking at right hand side and seeing the likes of Salah as well, I mean, having to defend that situation, he still had the license and the bravery to get forward and created 4 chances, which is still really, really good. Trent creating 5, which is outstanding for him, you know, in a game where we're looking at him and saying, yeah, this is just the standard Trent. This is the Trent we all know, the Trent that we wanted to see last season. Jamie really coming to the fore. Szoboszlai creating 2 chances and Salah creating 2 chances. So our right-hand side being really dominant in total. 9 chances. 9 chances, people. 9 chances. That's wow. From a right-hand side. So as we know, our right-hand side has been the side that's been our most creative, our most kind of potent. And it's still being that, and especially with Nunez kind of linking up with Darwin Nunez on that side, that right-hand side was really, really, really killing Aston Villa. And maybe it was as a result of Luka Dean actually trying to get forward 100%. Going forwards here, looking here at attacking aerial duels. So obviously these are attacking aerial duels. Joe Gomez topping the sheet as well. Still hasn't scored, obviously, a senior goal for Liverpool. But looking more likely to do so, especially in this game. 2 attacking areas, also 2 headers on target. Darwin Nunez, 2 headers, 1 on target. Pau Torres, 1 header, 1 on target. Joel Matip, 1 header, 1 on target, which was a glaring miss, as we remember. I mean, that was a great set piece from Trent, right onto Matip's head. And Matip, for me, has got to score that. However, he didn't. And Szoboszlai as well, getting on the end of a header. Going on to the passing as well, and this was really, really, really good to see. We topped the passing charts, man, for the game. All of our players ranked in the top 5 for passes completed and passes made. Joe Gomez actually impressive on the ball. 108 passes, 103 completed. Only 5 passes misplaced in the whole of the 90 minutes, which was really, really good. Andy Robertson, 102 passes made, 97 completed. Joel Matip, 88 passes made, 83 completed. Trent Alexander-Arnold, with how obviously risky he is with his passing, really, really good with 75 passes made, 68 passes completed, and McAllister getting involved as well. Using McAllister as a kind of deep line kind of playmaker. We haven't really seen that, although we've seen on a couple of occasions, obviously, Thiago coming in playing that role. This is a different type of like number 6 performance that we're having in terms of the way we're playing, the way we're defending. It's not a kind of standard, destroyer 6. It's more of a creator, and we're seeing McAllister really taking to the role. Obviously, 72 passes made, were attempted, and 63 completed. So still really, really good stats. And as we're seeing here with Trent, again, getting those midfield numbers up. I mean, that's the role of a midfielder. It's actually influencing the game more than McAllister, which is really, really interesting to go and see. We've seen that. Looking at some more stats as well, I think let's look at like shots as well. Let's have a look at shots. So as we can see, people, in terms of shots, actually, we've done that already. We've done that already, haven't we? In terms of shots and attacking third passes, this is a really, really good one in regards to attacking third passes. Trent topping the charts again. 9 passes in the attacking third completed out of 15 attempted. Douglas Luiz, linked with Liverpool. Earlier on in the transfer window, we actually reported him on this channel. So did Athletic. 9 passes completed out of 12. So you can see how kind of important he is to Aston Villa in terms of what they were trying to go and do. Get on the ball from a deeper position and try influence the play. Alexis McAllister, again, 6 out of 11 passes in the attacking third. So really making a lot of passes going forwards, not really trying to look backwards. Luca Dean, 6 out of 8 passes, and Mohamed Salah getting in the top 5 as well with the same amount. So in terms of attacking third passes, we're being really, really kind of proactive and forward thinking with our passes. And then from a defensive standpoint, man, just to go and have a look, ball recoveries, Joe Gomez, 8, Joel Matip, 7, McAllister, 7, and Dominik Szoboszlai, 7. And for me, and this is a great, great starting point before I get into you guys' comments, is this was the platform from which we were able to go and actually play and build up. I think Joe Gomez, Joel Matip, McAllister, and Szoboszlai gave us the defensive foundation to be able to go and do what we had to go and do to allow Szoboszlai, McAllister, Trent to really press really, really high up. I think they were actually fantastic. I think they allowed Nunez to kind of get forward and stretch the play, allowed Robertson to actually stay quite much deeper because he knew that there were players there that were all over the place, and the energy levels were superb from the midfield. And we haven't really seen that for a year or so at minimum when we look at last season. I mean, last season we were dreadful in that department. I need to go and see what you guys are saying about it. 100%. Guys, make sure we are smashing the like. Jay Zeus, big up to Jay, saying the team ain't ready to mount a challenge, especially that defense needs to be more defensive. I mean, we say that we were quite defensive. I just showed you the stats, bro. I just showed you the stats. Whether I agree, I don't think we're able to mount a title challenge, but I don't think it's because of the defense. I don't think it's that at all. We got Jay Kismet saying Trent and Salah had the most assists in 2023. 10. That's facts. That's a fact. Redbird D9 saying Robbo looks recharged at the moment. He does, but not only that, he's playing in a different role in this game. And I think not having Van Dijk meant that he was much more reserved, trying to go and protect the likes of Gomez and protect that back line. And as a result, actually had a better game, and we've spoken about it a lot. K-Max saying Dean's chances came from corners. To be fair, Salah's chances are never from set pieces. That how good he is. 100%, I agree, man. Rad Kingston saying, did Nunez get assist for that back flick to Salah? The headed flick? Yes, he did. We've got Angel 968 saying, feel sorry for Gakpo, who was playing well as a false nine at the end of last season, then had his position moved, then got dropped. That's what happens, man. I know you feel sorry, but it's for the betterment of the team, man. It's for the betterment of the team. Will Dead saying, stats, Jerry, but opponent was poor. If you compare Newcastle stats, we look poor. 100%. But how much of it was a poor, depleted Aston Villa side, and how much of it was Liverpool were that good? Because there comes a point for me where, like, I hear the fact that, look, they were depleted, they've got a lot of injuries, but still, like, this is a team that people were talking about a top 6 push. You know, they were in the same bracket as a Brighton, as a Newcastle. One of those teams that could push for that Europa League spot, maybe even the top 4. And if that's the case, that they're in our kind of periphery, they're teams that we're battling out against, then we've got 3 points against them. And, you know, I predicted a 2-1. A lot of us, I'm pretty sure Angel 960, I think, predicted us to lose the game. So this is what I'm saying, is it's one of those ones where hindsight is great, but going into the game, I think every one of us respected Aston Villa and what they bring to the table. Redbird D9 saying we've got options is what we've been crying out for. Klopp was to pick his team based on the opposition. That's in regards to obviously Gakpo, maybe so. Jay Kismet saying Robertson doesn't have a Virgil next to him and realizes the team needs him. Gomez and Trent to be on top of their game. We haven't conceded since Virgil got sent off. Very, very true. Very, very true. Radkis saying big up JJ's barber. Hey, Gary, you seeing this? You seeing this? Yeah, man. If anyone wants to touch up my barber, let me know, man. Let me know. Have a look here as well. K-Mac saying Villa were on form, scored bags of goals. We blew them away. It was a very good performance. That's what it is. 100%, man. 100%. Guys, make sure we are hitting the like. And as we spoke about, just to go and obviously, guys, remind you, I'm looking at ball recoveries here. And Joe Gomez, Joe Matip, McAllister, and Szoboszlai, right? So the two centre-backs and the two midfielders that actually played deepest for Liverpool, Joe Gomez and obviously Elliott coming on being the most advanced, had, seven obviously ball recoveries each. 8 for Joe Gomez. Really, really solid performance. And I think we need to go and discuss that. And I think the best way to go and discuss that is to go and look at the position in here. So if we go back to the position, we can see number 32, Matip, number 2, Joe Gomez, number 10 and number 8 for McAllister almost created a defensive box. And we really kind of relieved Trent from any defensive kind of like need really in this game. And he didn't really get at once. I think it's interesting because they didn't really play with a left winger. They played with McGinn, who started on the left, but would actually come inverted. Watkins was obviously on that side. And Diaby was on the right. And they had Leon Bailey. And they were trying to target the right as opposed to the left, which is a really interesting decision from Emery. I don't know why he did that. I know that right-hand side is stronger for them, but you would think they'd want to go and target that left-hand side and put some more pressure on Trent. But lo and behold, they didn't. And I don't know whether that was tactically or not. It does seem to me that it would be tactically, because looking at obviously, just looking at the positioning of obviously McAllister, Matip, Szoboszlai, and Gomez, it's almost like they created a box, and that box enabled the platform for Coach Jones to play like really, really wide. Trent to be able to come inverted with Matip at times. And Matip could do that defensive responsibility out wide in certain situations. Also gave, obviously, Matip the ability to kind of get forward with the ball and kind of offer an option for Trent where Trent can obviously dictate the play from central areas. Defensively, though, I think McAllister has really taken to the 6th role. And with Szoboszlai and the energy that he can provide, it means that we're actually covering more ground than we would do with just a standard 6. Because a lot of us, if we're looking at this number 10, we just assume, oh yeah, McAllister's there, and McAllister he sits in the middle and that's all he does. No, McAllister all over the place. At times on the left, at times on the right, he's picking up the ball here. He's more advanced, as we saw. Most attacking passes in the final third. In the attacking third, sorry. Szoboszlai at times defending, covering for Trent, and we're really seeing this like. It would go in, and me and obviously G spoke about it, but it's very much, the kind of defensive kind of prowess and the, total football kind of ideology of football. And that's how it seems that Liverpool are trying to do, is not necessarily rely on one centre defensive midfielder to go and stop everything and clean everything up. Hence why we potentially didn't go in for a Painha. We're looking for a player that can be part of a team that can be defensively solid, and we're relying much more on the press. And I think that box of having, Szoboszlai, McAllister, Szoboszlai, McAllister, Gomez, and Matip meant that the press was much, much better, because it meant that, Trent could go and press really high up when he had to. At times, Jones done really, really well with the press. Szoboszlai could then look around and be like, okay, cool, I've still got 3 players defensively in obviously our 2 centre-backs who are going to stay back, and McAllister to go out and press. And even at times, if McAllister went out to press, Szoboszlai would come into the midfield, and it's like the synergy between the midfielders is working really, really well. And if I'd argue, I'd say it seems as though they've settled in and kind of understand their roles really, really well. And at times we've sat here and thought, oh, look, it's going to take a bit of time for Szoboszlai and McAllister to settle. They might not start together. it does seem as though they're really starting to click, especially from a pressing and defensive standpoint. And I think we saw the best of it against Aston Villa, man. 100%, 100%. K-Mac saying here, like, wow, thought it would never happen. Robbo played as a centre-back and Trent played in midfield. Klopp's tactics with Jones really, really worked. 100% again. We've got Angel 96 saying, at home against the lesser teams, we can control possession and not need a DM. I agree, man. 100% agree. 100% agree. Tony Hall saying, difficult away games. I see us playing a double pivot, 4-2-3-1. We'll have to go and see, man. We'll have to go and see. We've got Jay Kismet saying, look, start fast and it rocks teams. I always go back to that Arsenal 5-1 game under Rodgers. 21 minutes or so, 4 goals. Teams can't breathe. And when you play like that at Anfield, 100%, man. 100%. I do agree. I do agree. Guys, make sure we are smashing a like. Please make sure we're smashing a like. We've got Rich ES saying, funny. Not many noticed that Martinez got fingertips to Salah centre, which forced Nunez to go with his head last second. Really? Did that really happen, Riches? I need to go and actually have a look because it looked weird. It's like he went with his leg, the ball's coming and he's just nodded his head in. So it was really, really interesting to obviously see how that happened. But yeah, and moving on as well, there's a couple players that I actually want to go and talk about. The first one is Andrew Robertson, obviously from a defensive standpoint. And as we can go and see here, and I spoke about obviously Andrew Robertson, very, very defensive from him. You know, we've associated Andrew Robertson being obviously a more attacking-minded fullback. You know, we all spoke about the need for a left-sided centre-back to be a bit more defensive. You know, the fact that Robertson's role was starting to become null and void. Still really, really great on the offense, but from a defensive standpoint, still lacking at times, especially when he's caught really high and quite forward. We're seeing here, wow. We're seeing him play much, much more defensively. 2 seconds. Yeah, we're seeing him play much, much more defensively in that deeper region. Crazy. Playing right there on that obviously deeper hand side, not really getting forward. And obviously there he's in that region when we've got the ball, but we don't mind that. I mean, at times Ake's in that position, but we're not seeing high up near the box putting any crosses there. It was a much more kind of defensively solid much more defensively solid performance from Robertson. And I think it actually aided his game. And SofaScore giving him a 7.6 rating. I would have given him about an 8 because I think he was fantastic from a defensive standpoint. Also on the ball, I think his positioning was really, really interesting and really stretched our backline and aided and allowed kind of Jones to kind of get forward in that interesting role. I really want to know what you guys think on Robertson as well. Let's go and have a look here. Yeah, let me see what you guys are saying. Honestly saying, actually, there's a couple of things. I'm gonna leave this to the end. But 100%, as you can see here, Robertson playing a bit, obviously Dio, and then on the other side in Trent Alexander-Arnold, you can see here again, not really getting forward, not the similar Trent, but it seems as though they are much more balanced on either side now. They're in line. It seems as though they're in line, and I think Trent and let's be honest, both Robertson don't need to get high anymore because we've got legs in our midfield, and it allows Curtis Jones and Szoboszlai to get on the overlap if needed. If Salah and Luis Luis Diaz need it, it means that we've got the legs to also get back. It means that we've got control of the middle of the park with a McAllister in midfield, and I think that really, really helps kind of what we're doing. Because looking here, it's like we're seeing here dominating those areas. And of course, Trent's got more license to kind of roam a bit more. And at times he's on the left, at times on the right. He's just all over the place. But we're covering a large amount of area in those midfield regions. And you can imagine with McAllister and Szoboszlai in those regions, the heat map really does look in Liverpool's favour. You can just imagine it. So I think that was a fantastic performance from them. I think I really want to go and talk about Joe Gomez. A lot of talk again about the defence. You know, we haven't signed a centre-back going into the transfer window. And I'm looking at it, and I think Gomez is someone that if he can put a few of these performances we could have a very, very good backup player. And I don't think he's going to be a main starter. And hey, maybe he could prove all of us wrong. But we've seen how good Joe Gomez can be. I've been a massive critic of him, 100%. But look, he had the game against Newcastle, and when he had the game against Newcastle, every single one of us said, oh, it was one game. We're playing a deep line. He just had to defend very, very easy. By that slip against Aston Villa, I think he was solid. As we've seen by the stats, most recoveries, and we'll get it up again, most ball recoveries from any player on the pitch, 8 here. From an attacking standpoint as well, when we're looking at attacking aerial duels, he gets 2 out of 2 there. And in terms of passes as well, getting on the ball more than anyone as well. And those are the stats that we want to go and see from Gomez. And I think as long as he's doing that, I think he's going to be really, really good. Playing on the left side of defence, so already going to be compared with Virgil van Dijk, who obviously plays that position for Liverpool. And more interestingly enough, Liverpool have not conceded without Virgil van Dijk on the pitch. Which says to me, there's more than meets the eye. Now, look, that could be a coincidence, or maybe it could be the fact that the likes of Matip and Gomez are just not taking any risks and are much more switched on, because not only do they not play the same amount of games as Virgil, they've got something to prove, and they're just keeping it simple. And I think at the back sometimes people mistake simplicity for not doing anything. And I think being simple sometimes is way, way more effective. Way more effective. So really, really interested to go and obviously see that. And yeah, like that's crazy. Obviously, Szoboszlai, my man of the match. Let's get up the stats for Szoboszlai and go and have a look at what Szoboszlai did, because I think if I'm being honest, for me, Szoboszlai is someone that could go on to great things. He could go on to great things because the way in which he's able to go and strike a ball, the way he's able to run, he's just a beast in every sense of the word. In every sense of the word. And I don't know when the last time Liverpool have had a player like this. So I need to get it up, and I think we need to go through it before we head out, man. 100%. 100%, because I think he will be our most important signing this season, and no one expected it at all. No one expected it at all, people. Guys, make sure we are please smashing the like. Just going to get that up for you. 2 seconds, people. Cool. 2 seconds. As I get that up, please make sure you're getting any questions in as well that I can go through before we head out. Just wrapping up now. That's 1 and that's 2. Cool. Getting up for you now, people. Guys, make sure we are smashing a like. I know there's some of you that haven't smashed it, so please don't leave me have to get the bouncers in, man. Please. And as we can see here, these are obviously the lists here. Obviously got a 7.6 rating. It should have potentially been higher. Great opening goal, man. The technique, left-footed, daisy cutter from a corner, quality finish. We've seen those balloon over in recent games, but as we can see, 1 goal. He had 76 touches in the game. 91% of his passes were accurate. 56 passes made. 51 completed. So really efficient. 2 key passes. 4 corners with 3 of them being accurate. 1 long ball played. So really good in those tight areas. And as we're seeing here, and this is what was really impressive for me from a defensive standpoint. Look, ground duels he obviously engaged in 7 ground duels, won 2 of them. So still getting about the pitch and putting a lot of pressures. Won his 1 aerial duel. He lost possession 10 times. However, those are in the attacking areas when we want him to be creative, and I don't really mind that. Was fouled once, then overall just had a fantastic game. And if he can keep that up, he's going to be some player. I think, again, his understanding of where to be, his IQ, not only his ability, but his IQ to know, look, I've got to go and cover Trent in this position. Oh, look, McAllister further forward, I'm going to drop in this 6th position for now. Oh, look, Curtis Jones is cut inside, I'm going to go on the left-hand side. I think the movement was incredible. He's just a player, man. Liverpool have done something in the transfer market with this player, 100%, man. Honestly, like big up to Michael Talks Football. Make sure we're heading over there. Honestly, Szoboszlai has that elite winning mentality, 100%, man, 100%. Angel at 68 saying Szoboszlai equals Michael Ballack, maybe. George got a good one. I don't even know if it was George, man. That was just a release clause thing. I'm not going to even give that to George, but 100% great player. Gara saying Trent didn't go up very far, but he still created amazing chances for us. 100%, which meant that defensively we were solid. 100%. Gara goes on to say, look, Gomez has very good pace and physicality. If you can keep up performing, then it's very good for us. I understand. I agree. We got Psychedelic saying Trent stepped up on the pinch with the armband and said, let me show the levels again. Gomez has been looking like the old Joey G. Yeah, it's true. Virgil van Dijk saying, so Michael Talk saying Virgil van Dijk has been really good this season without that red card. He has. But we haven't conceded, though. We haven't conceded. So it might be, obviously, just coincidental. It might not, though. It might not. We got Saint Cyr saying Szoboszlai is an absolute dog. That brother is for real, the truth, 100%, man. Redbird D9 agreeing, saying that Big Dom bossed it. He's worthy of a famous number 8. Yeah, more worthy than Naby Keita. Can you imagine we had Naby Keita wearing the number 8 last season for the last couple of years? Mad. Streets of Proof Tem saying, praying we don't run Szoboszlai into the ground the way we did with Bobby. That's my one issue, you know. That is my one issue, because the way he's running, I haven't seen a player run like that in ages in our midfield. Like, that is crazy. That is crazy. Boom Boom 43 saying the way Dom moves to a different position is outstanding in a different way. There's also mind-blowing, 100%. JJ opinion on Szoboszlai saying Salah wants to stay at LFC. I'm not going to talk on that, man, because I don't know. Streets of Proof Tem saying, also, what do you think of Ryan Gravenberch? Where and how does he fit into that starting 11 that played on Sunday? And what do you think of him rejecting international duties to focus on Liverpool? I think Gravenberch is going to fit into that kind of Curtis Jones role. I think either Curtis Jones or Szoboszlai will be the most advanced, but we're going to try and do this total football type of thing, 100%. I think it'll be him and Curtis Jones that are challenging each other for that spot. I think McAllister going to play deeper, might rotate with Endo depending on what games we play. And Endo's obviously going to be our Europa League cover as well. And I think he's a Europa League level player at this moment in time. And what do I think of Ryan rejecting international duties to focus on Liverpool? I get both sides, man. I get both sides. I think from a Liverpool perspective, it's good. It shows that he's dedicated to the cause, that he really wants to work. He wants to focus on his career, and that makes a lot of sense. However, a lot of players also complain when they're not being called up because they've played well and stuff. Like, we've complained about, Maddison not getting a chance in the England lineup for England, or Jared Bowen not getting a chance, or Tammy Abraham not getting a chance for England, even though he's playing fantastically well. But on the flip side, we're critiquing the manager, saying he doesn't like the fact that he rejected a call-up, because a call-up is still something special for some people. So, yeah, I get both sides, man. I get both sides. But from a Liverpool perspective, he does well, man. He's done well, man. He's done well. Sakadet saying, do you think Trent could be England captain one day? I don't know. I just don't see it. I don't think he's going to get enough caps, to be fair. I just don't think he's going to get enough caps, which is obviously quite worrying. I am Jono saying, can you imagine if we got Bellingham and Szoboszlai? My God. Yeah, the thing is, we would have never got Szoboszlai if we got Bellingham. That's the thing. So pick your poison. Which one do you prefer? Szoboszlai or Bellingham? Let me know. We got Michael Talk saying, keep an eye on Serbia versus Hungary during the international break. We'll have to go and do that. Will Dead Wolf saying, still Jones over Gravenberch for me, or Gravenberch for me until his head is right. I agree. We got Tony Hall saying the whole squad looks re-energized. That's true. And I think it's because of the Newcastle game, if I'm being. We got Ace Chaos saying, get both. I don't think we would have ever got both. Honestly saying, JJ, which rebuild would you prefer, ours or Chelsea's? Because if Chelsea players flopped, it's peak, because I remember 8 year sentences that they got caught with a £1 weed in the USA. I prefer Liverpool's rebuild at this moment in time. I think it was still very risky. I think there's positions that we still wanted to strengthen. I think at the back, I think cover for Trent, even right wing cover. I know we've spoke about Doak, 100%, but right wing cover for me is still an area that we could have looked at. And for me, I'm not going to lie, that's what I'll go and look at, man. Guys, but please, smash a like as well. Is that Angel United 68 when we're talking about international call-ups? I'm complaining about Cement Boots Maguire getting called up. That's my point. We're complaining about that, but then when a player gets called up and he's rejecting it, it's fine. I think it's just because he's doing it for Liverpool. So we're looking at the positive as opposed to looking at the bigger picture. But yeah, it's good for Liverpool, man. It's good for Liverpool. Dean Luminous saying you keep missing my comment. Where do I don't see your comment, bro. I don't see your comment. Your comment's not popping up. This is the first comment I've seen from you, Dean Luminous. Hope you're doing well. Let me know what the comment is. Let me know what the comment is. I actually haven't seen no comment from yourself at all. At all. Send the comment in now, and then I'll read it out if you can do. We're just about to wrap up. Rich ES saying Szoboszlai is a tremendous signing. 100%, man. 100%. Got to give FSG facts. We've got to give FSG facts. Will Dead saying no comment, Dean. Yeah, like there's been no comment, mate. There's been no comment. Psychedelic saying, do you think City will fall off this season? Do you think Chelsea and Man United will drop out of the top 5 and the Champions League? I don't know. I don't think City will fall off. I think they'll be there or thereabouts. Chelsea and Man United still have a lot to be desired. However, I would say that Man United will still will pick up again. I know they've been poor, but they were poor last season and they still picked up. Chelsea is going to be an interesting one because certain Chelsea fans are already calling for Pochettino's head, saying Pochettino out. So boy, honestly saying, JJ, would you give Thiago? No, I would never give Thiago a new contract. No, I wouldn't. But guys, that's been the tactics board for today. Thank you so much for everyone tuning in, guys. Make sure that when you're leaving now, I know some of you guys haven't, and that's fair. Like the ting. Man them. Like the ting. Please like the video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe as well, because there's going to be a lot of content coming, especially during the international break. We're creative. Myself and Gia creative. We've got the members videos coming out as well, so that's going to be crazy for you guys as well. And yeah, man, hit that notification bell and make sure you're staying up to date. Couple more as well. Big up to Luke Aspinall saying, I don't think Chelsea would gel as a team as they have too many in each position. I agree. Jam saying, who do you think will be our signing of the summer? Szoboszlai, man. Szoboszlai. But yeah, big up to yourselves, everyone. Big up to everyone in the building. Guys, make sure as well, what I'd want as well from you guys, if you can, share, man. Go on Facebook, go on Twitter. Copy the URL and share it, man. Share out the video. It does help the channel grow. More people get exposed to it. If you like, amazing. If you want to do more, share the video, man. That'll be a massive help. But look, until next time, have a great evening. See you in the next video. It's been the Jerry James Show, and we are out. Have a good evening. Madness.